EZDrummer2 and Superior Drummer 3. What are they, how do they work, and what is the difference between the two? This video will cover all these questions, and after watching this you will know exactly which software to choose. What are these VSTs anyway, and how do people use them? VSTs are basically recordings and generated sounds of all kinds of instruments that can be activated within the recording software by pressing the key of a MIDI keyboard, for example. This saxophone sound can be triggered by me pressing this button or by hitting this electronic drum pad. I can generate the MIDI notes manually with any kind of MIDI controller, which can be a launchpad or even my MacBook's keyboard. I can also program a MIDI track by drawing the notes manually inside of a DAW's MIDI track. MIDI is basically a signal that tells my recording software what notes of an instrument to play. You can compare it with a music box. MIDI notes are like these little pins on a roll that trigger tones, except they are digital. MIDI notes and their position on a grid can tell the computer how long, how hard, and when to play a virtual instrument. Here are a bunch of MIDI notes in a grid. I'm tired of the saxophone, so I'm going to change it to a violin, or whatever Logic Pro X offers me. My previously inserted MIDI notes trigger any instrument sample library I assign it to. But who cares about violins and saxophones? This is a drum channel, and we want to generate MIDI notes with an EZDrum set. Because any EZDrum module is essentially a MIDI controller that can send MIDI signals to a DAW to trigger drum samples. However, most DAW's integrated drum plugins are not really meant to be controlled by an EZDrum kit. Logic Pro X is an exception. Its integrated drum plugin offers a V-drum setting. However, Logic's sample library is nowhere near at the level of a purposely designed drum VST. Most DAWs do not even have any integrated VSTs. The solution for this is usually a third-party plugin, like for example EZDrummer2 from toontrack, that can be used within a DAW or even as a standalone software. These programs can understand the MIDI signals from a drum brain much better than any other software. And the samples, which are essentially recordings of actual acoustic drums, come at a much bigger variety and a better quality than most stock VSTs. You can trigger those samples in real time and record a MIDI track with your EZDrum set and edit it after the recording process. Or you can even use these programs' integrated drum libraries to generate a MIDI drum track, in case you're not a drummer yourself. I hope you get the idea on what those VSTs are and how they work, but what is actually the difference between EZDrummer2 and Superior Drummer 3? It is easier to answer this question by giving you some real-life examples on how people use them. Joe is a guitar player and a songwriter who makes songs for other artists. His drummer is never on time for recording sessions, so Joe has to play the drums himself. However, Joe has two left hands and the rhythm of an electrocuted squirrel. His drumming is a disaster. He needs software that can do the drumming for him, like EZDrummer2, and its Tap to Find feature to quickly write a drum track that suits his song. The drum tracks are good enough for his demo and to get his idea across. These drum tracks sound good out of the box without any time-consuming MIDI editing. If he wanted, he could even use EZDrummer2 to write a professional song. He does not need Superior Drummer 3 and its additional features for what he does. The drummer that later performs the song in the studio gets the idea, and Joe has become a very efficient songwriter due to EZDrummer2. Dave and his band went to a recording studio to produce an EP. The band's drummer was drunk during the session and his timing was a mess. The band has a quality drum sound, but a horrible timed track. The audio engineer would need to spend 3 years to fix the audio files of this recording session, which would be very expensive for the band. The engineer suggests to use a software called Superior Drummer 3 instead, and its audio to MIDI conversion feature, to make a MIDI drum track out of the messed up audio drum track. which can be edited much faster and is therefore cheaper. He replaces the drum hits with high-quality samples of the Superior Drummer 3 sound library that do even sound better than the original drum recording, because the samples of this software were recorded with the best gear in the best studios by the best sound engineers. However, the band's drummer is also a hipster, and he is against modern technology. He's living the 60s and he loves the word analog, even though he does not fully understand its meaning. The sound engineer makes some drum samples out of the original drum track and layers them with the Superior Drummer 3 drum tracks. The hipster drummer does not notice anything, because A, he cannot imagine what modern technology is capable of, and B, he wants to believe he did a great job in the studio. Everyone is happy, and the band has a great drum track on a low budget. The drummer still gets fired from the band, and the happiness level of the remaining members increases even further. John has an EZDrum set with the best and most realistic hi-hat. He is a hobby musician that wants to record drum tracks for his band. He connects a PC to his EZDrum set via USB MIDI interface and triggers EZDrummer2. The hi-hat triggering is not perfect, because EZDrummer2 cannot capture the output signal from the module as accurately. John upgrades to Superior Drummer 3 with the crossgate version, and is now able to use the software's integrated trigger adjustment features. The triggering of the hi-hat is much more accurate now, but only because he watched Mike Luke's video on hi-hat adjustments. Even the MIDI editing process is much faster now because of Superior Drummer's grid editor. John can produce tracks much faster and without any hassle, except his wife, who still nags about him being all the time in his man cave. This should give you an idea of what those softwares are and how people use them. They are basically a bunch of digital drum sets with different editing features, a part that understands MIDI signals from a drum brain, and pre-recorded MIDI libraries for fast songwriting. Samples are audio recordings of noises. This car door sound is a sample. This explosion is a sample. But so is this snare. Except that the car door and the explosion are one-shot samples. There are no velocities, meaning no lighter and no harder car door hits. The snare sound that I just generated is a recording of a real snare. In fact, this instrument includes thousands of samples of this actual acoustic snare that were hit at many different velocity levels and even at different spots. One guy had to sit there and hit all these instruments hundreds of times, and another guy had to edit them.
My favorite part of the recording process was when we recorded a ride for like 2 hours.
Recorded from the hardest I can hit it to the softest I can hit it, to every possibility of everything I could do.
Both VSTs come with a good-looking interactive user interface. The drum graphics look great, and the components do even move when the sound is triggered. Not a necessary feature, but nice to have. Just looking at the graphics makes me want to play the drums. Both VSTs have their own internal mixer and some sound effects. The mixers allow routing from the VST mixing tracks onto the DAWs mixing tracks, so you can use your DAWs effects on every single drum instrument track. Both VSTs come with a groove section and a MIDI track library to quickly write songs via tap to find feature and some category filters. Those MIDI tracks are recorded by actual drummers and can be dragged and dropped into the software's timeline. Both VSTs allow you quick and easy editing with the Edit Playstyle window. The power hand can be dragged from the hi-hat to the right, the floor tom, or if you want to be special, even to the bass drum. But no one does that. You can change the amount and the velocity of the hits. This, for example, is a drummer on ecstasy. If you hear such noises in the room next to you, call 911 and prevent the drummer from hurting himself. Both VSTs do not require a DAW at all. You can run them as a standalone software if wanted. Superior Drummer 3 and EZDrummer2 come with a couple of drum sets pre-installed. They are also expandable. You can add additional instrument libraries called Easy Access and SD Access. I, for example, have the Big Rock Drums Easy Access installed, which can be loaded inside EZDrummer2 and Superior Drummer 3. While my Rock Foundry SDX is an expansion made for Superior Drummer only. More about the difference of EZX and SDX later in the video. And finally, both VSTs can be bought physically or online via instant download. The prices of the software do already suggest that EZDrummer2 is the little brother of Superior Drummer 3. It has only basic features and is basically the entry-level software, while Superior Drummer 3 is a professional software bundle that includes all features of EZDrummer2 plus additional functionality. EZDrummer's competitors are other drum VSTs in the same price range, while Superior Drummer 3 does not really have any competitor product, and I doubt it will ever get one. While EZDrummer2 does allow you to edit your dragged and dropped MIDI grooves with the Edit Playstyle function, you still have to use a DAW for more detailed MIDI editing. The problem with DAW piano rolls is that they are not specifically made for drum VSTs. Editing drum MIDI in Logic Pro X, for example, is neither fast nor intuitive. And I would even say that this is the case for most DAWs. You do not see what drum instrument you are editing. Where's the second crash again? Oh, there it is. The velocity cannot be adjusted quick and easy for several hits at the same time, and there are many other restrictions. Editing takes ages and in fact is such an annoying process that I'd rather play a video game than making a drum track. Superior Drummer 3 integrates the grid editor, one of my favorite features and the main reason why I wanted this software. First, you can arrange the instruments and they are displayed with their names, not with random numbers. Second, quantization and randomization can be done quickly for entire sections of the project. Here's a drum roll. I just use these little triangles to increase the velocity of this drum roll over time. Not to forget about the instrument detail. The snares, for example, have all these different zones. Editing them in a DAW, where the track is not named or arranged, is nearly impossible. The hi-hat can be edited in two ways, either with the CC4 protocol that captures the movement of the hi-hat controller in a graph, or by assigning the different articulations as MIDI notes. This can be done for the snare as well in Superior Drummer 3. Not only the hi-hat controller of an eDrum set can control a stepless transition, but also the Roland positional sensing can control SD3's snares. People that edit drum MIDI tracks a lot should definitely use Superior Drummer 3 because of the grid editor. This feature will save you endless hours in editing and make the process less painful. This is vital if you have MIDI drum tracks that are recorded with poorly adjusted or cheap eDrum modules. EZDrummer2 is a lighter software that does not need much processing power nor much computer storage space. You can run it on any conventional PC. Superior Drummer 3, however, is a very heavy software and requires much storage space if you want to use all the sounds. However, toontrack engineered it in a way that it runs with a minimum space requirement if wanted. You can operate SD3 with the 40GB basic sound library only and install the rest onto an external hard drive. The full install requires 236GB storage space, preferably a fast storage medium and at least 8 gigs of RAM. I installed the whole library directly onto my 2012 MacBook Pro and faced an annoying problem. Loading a drum kit took too much time with my slow hard drive disk. And this became even more annoying when configuring a drum set within SD3. The loading times were a pain. If you have a computer that still has a spinning hard disk, consider either a disk upgrade or start meditating to cope with the anger caused by slow loading times. This is why toontrack offers an optional external 256GB solid-state drive with the software pre-installed for an additional €189. Solid-state drives are fast and make it possible to load the drum kits and the drum instruments really fast. I would recommend buying the SSD elsewhere, as €189 is a bit much for 256GB SSD. Rather get yourself a 500GB Samsung T5 SSD with a fast USB-C port. This nice compact SSD offers twice the amount of storage for less money. You might need additional storage space anyway for future SDX expansions. My Rock Foundry SDX, for example, requires another 68GB of storage. Therefore, a 256GB drive is not a good investment anyway. I went for another option and bought a 500GB internal SSD for my 2012 MacBook Pro and upgraded my computer. But please be aware, this is not possible with newer Macs, only with devices older than 2014 and usually with Windows PCs. Apple has become more evil and does not want you to upgrade your computer. They want you to buy a new one. The upgrade process was simple enough. There are tutorials everywhere on the internet, but it takes still a few hours. Buying an external SSD is probably the fastest solution. Anyway, sort your storage before buying Superior Drummer 3. In terms of random access memory, toontrack recommends at least 8GB, but suggests a minimum of only 4GB. 4GB might be enough to run the plugin itself, but it will become a problem if you run Superior Drummer 3 in a multi-track project, so get the RAM sorted as well. Make sure your computer is good enough to handle the software before buying it. EZDrummer2 is like the name suggests, easy. Easy to understand and easy to use. It comes with less features and a simple interface. SD3, on the other hand, is basically a software bundle. It includes all EZDrummer features, plus additional programs like the tracker and the grid editor. The amount of additional functionality requires more time to learn and also a deeper knowledge of music production techniques like mixing. If you do not know the difference between EQ and the compressor, you might be better off with EZDrummer2. Many drummers want to connect their eDrum set to their computer to trigger a drum software. Therefore, it is an advantage if the software comes with an additional layer of trigger adjustment settings, especially in terms of the hi-hat. EZDrummer2 does not really have trigger adjustment settings. The only thing you can change is the eDrum brand and the hi-hat curve. All other settings have to be adjusted in the drum module. Good luck adjusting the hi-hat signal with such a module. SD3, on the other hand, comes with detailed eDrum presets. You can not only choose the eDrum manufacturer, but even individual sound modules. Even instruments can be adjusted individually. The hi-hat opening can be set correctly, and even the zones for positional sensing for snare and ride can be tweaked. Having the option to modify the trigger settings in the module and fine-tune them in the software is essential for a good playing experience. However, many eDrummers are still not satisfied with the hi-hat triggering of Superior Drummer 3, in combination with a good eDrum hi-hat. It is the best triggering VST in terms of the hi-hat, but still does not reach the level of a good sound module. But this does not mean it stays like this. toontrack upgrades the software consistently. I can imagine that this feature will be improved, as more people become interested in connecting their eDrum set to a computer. EZDrummer2 has no MIDI mapping option. That means you cannot change the incoming MIDI notes on the software side, but only at the module side. This is not ideal, since some modules do not allow you to change the MIDI note numbers. SD3 gives you the option to change the MIDI note numbers on the receiving side. I prefer this way, as I do not want to mess up the MIDI settings on the module side, and it is also much faster. My EZDrummer2 snare is controlled by 3 different MIDI note numbers, which triggers a head stroke, side stick and rim shot, while some of the Superior Drummer 3 instruments have many more pad zones and sounds. This snare, for example, has all those different zones that can be triggered by a Roland positional sensing capable module. The more instrument zones, the more realistic the sound. The Superior Drummer 3 hi-hat does even feature 3 zones. I'm still hoping that Roland releases a digital hi-hat that might be able to trigger all the 3 zones in SD3. A very good trigger result requires a module that generates and sends accurate MIDI signals to Superior Drummer 3. The Roland TT50 combined with the digital pads is currently the best eDrum brain to trigger SD3. Libraries in EZDrummer2 are pre-processed, meaning you get a drum sound that is already edited and ready to use. While every EZDrummer2 set has a less processed original setup, it is still not as raw and unprocessed like the Superior Drummer 3 sounds. Superior Drummer 3 has pre-processed drum sets as well, but its intention is to give you the option to process the sounds yourself from scratch. Most professionals would rather have the option to tweak the sounds themselves, while the hobby drummers want to have a nice sound out of the box. Some guys do simply not have the time and the patience to process the drum sounds from scratch. However, the drum software skeptics criticize VSTs for being recognizable. They have a point though. The processed sounds from EZDrummer2 do stand out. I recognize them in many songs. The chances to achieve a unique drum sound are simply higher with non-processed sounds from SD3, as you can give them their character. EZDrummer2 can export a wave track of the entire drum set, while Superior Drummer 3 is able to generate single tracks of each microphone within one click. I use this feature a lot, since I do not send MIDI tracks to bandmates and audio engineers, but rather the audio drum tracks, as not everyone has the same drum sound libraries as me. If you want to do this with EZDrummer2, you would need a DAW and route the EZDrummer2 tracks into the DAW tracks. EZDrummer's integrated mixer is very basic. You cannot really assign effects to individual tracks, while Superior Drummer 3's mixer is like a DAW mixer with buzzers and plugin slots for different effects. EZDrummer2 comes with 2 setup types out of the box. Each setup consists a range of different instruments. There is no electronic sound and not many special instruments. The SD3 library does already have a lot of sounds that you might need for all kinds of music genres. EZDrummer2 requires you to buy additional easy access for specific drum sounds. Let's say you need a China cymbal or a specific electronic drum sound. You would have to buy an EZX expansion that includes this instrument. SD3 has a huge library with all kinds of effect sounds, cymbals and percussion sounds. Chances are the library includes everything you need. However, you might still want to expand the library with an additional SDX or EZX, depending on the type of music you produce. We all know how to transform a MIDI track into an audio track. Very simple procedure. But how about the other way around? SD3 includes the tracker. The tracker transforms the audio tracks into a MIDI track. This feature is vital to layer drum tracks with samples or to avoid intensive audio drum track editing. Editing audio drum tracks is time-consuming and therefore expensive. This is why you rather transform it into MIDI. MIDI blocks can easily be moved. Audio signals need to be cut and then moved manually. Also, the mic bleed of an acoustic drum track makes it sometimes impossible to even move them. Else you might hear the snare sound on the overhead track where no snare sound is supposed to be. A weak drum hit can be adjusted with MIDI notes, while you cannot do that with an audio signal. I know some guys criticize this practice and call it cheating, but let's be realistic, music production these days has to be efficient and quick. In EZDrummer2, you are limited to the instruments of the drum set of the EZX. This kit is my biggest drum set. If I want to have more instruments, I need to buy an EZX expansion with a bigger set. And even then, I'm still limited to the instrument category when configuring a drum set, and cannot just change this floor tom into a hi-hat. Superior Drummer 3 allows me to add as many instruments as I want to any set, and does not limit me to a drum set type, nor requires an expansion to build a massive metal set. This floor tom becomes a hi-hat now. Additionally, I can layer the instruments. This kick drum gets another layer. Now I have 2 kick drums in one instrument slot. I can also easily add one of my one-shot samples via drag and drop. I can't do that with EZDrummer. Please keep in mind that we talk about 2 different classes of VST software. A direct comparison seems to be a bit absurd on one hand, but on the other hand, the difference between the 2 is not really clear at first sight. EZDrummer2 is a songwriting tool and the first dive into the world of drum VSTs. It is simple and does only contain the very basics. Superior Drummer 3 is more than just a songwriting tool. It is a professional toolbox that does not only have all the features of EZDrummer2, but a more detailed version of them and a lot of additional built-in functions. While EZDrummer2 is totally fine for songwriters and producers who want a simple and quick drum track, Superior Drummer 3 is for the pros and the experts, who are experienced with using DAWs and other music plugins. Some computer knowledge is also a requirement in my opinion. Do not expect to just be able to buy the software and use it like a pro straight away. It won't happen in the majority of cases. If you have not much experience with music software, MIDI interfaces, and don't know the basics about mixing, you are better off with EZDrummer2, at least at the beginning. If you need additional functionality, make music for a living, want to digitalize the drum recording process of your band, then Superior Drummer 3 is the way to go. And if you are someone who just wants to trigger great drum sounds and has no computer skills nor a good computer, rather buy a 2-box Drummer 3 or a Pearl Mimic Pro drum module. Triggering VSTs with an eDrum module is not the answer for everyone. Both VSTs will help you to reach your goal on writing a song. But if you want to work more efficient and need very specific features like the grid editor or the drum replacement tool, you might need the Pro software. That being said, some expansions for Superior Drummer 3 could be even the reason for an upgrade. I for example believe that the Rock Foundry SDX is a must-have for any rock pop producer. This library is on another level. The sounds are amazing and they are recorded with much more detail. They even stuck a microphone into a piano to record a drum set. This is a must-have library in my opinion, and another good reason to buy Superior Drummer 3. Toontrack allows you to transfer any product license. So in case you're not happy with your Superior Drummer 3 purchase, you can still sell the license to someone else. I tried the license transfer as a buyer and as a seller, and it worked well. This is basically like a money-back guarantee and something I love about this company. And another important tip, Toontrack gives you a discount if you have EZDrummer 2 and want to upgrade to Superior Drummer 3. So you might start out with EZDrummer 2, see how it goes, and eventually upgrade to SD3. This is what I did. I used EZDrummer since 2015, and it has been a great tool and I wrote many songs with it. But at some point I felt the need for more and eventually got Superior Drummer 3. The good thing about buying the Crossgate is that you keep the EZDrummer 2 sounds and you can still use them within Superior Drummer 3. Special tip for video makers and movie composers. Toontrack makes easy access for all purposes, even some totally strange ones, like the Action EZX. This is basically a percussion tool for movie tracks. If you want to become the next Hans Zimmer, you should check this one out. I hope you liked my video and found a good solution for yourself. Find all products mentioned in the video description. That's it for today. Keep on drumming and see you next time.